cool. This is so cool. So I have a very unusual setup today from outdoors. Right? Let's not spend too much time in our houses, but let's move on outdoors and do some work, maybe volunteering or maybe helping other people. So we will have a quick update today on the things which happened last week. And again, I'm having two streams here. One is on Zoom, and I'm showing it on my Facebook stream. So again, I will just repeat, I have two phones with me. One is with the Facebook stream and one is with Zoom. So the one on the Facebook will be shared. It is being recorded. And the one on Zoom, you could just ask questions and I will be able to respond to some of them. So the most important piece comes from the fact that we are creating a new portal here called Open Canada, and I'm opening it right now. The folks on the Facebook should be able to see it, and if you are not on Facebook but are on Zoom, just go to evim.ca and click on the link which is Open Canada, and you would see it has a bunch of nice visualizations here. So we have kind of a gauge which shows the percentage of fully vaccinated, which is 82% now, and then we have three other gauges here which shows the percentage of fully vaccinated in COVID-19 cases. Isn't it beautiful, right? So among deaths, among hospitalizations and cases. So you would see it's a brand new design, and there are a number of people who are helping me with the design of the portal, and we will just go quickly about the content of this portal, right? So again, how do you find this portal? You go to ivim.ca, and there you would see I have a note that this dashboard is moving to a new location, so just go there. Okay, so I'm clicking again here, and that's where you would see a new portal is being designed. So this morning, this 22nd of May, the new data have been published by Public Health Agency of Canada, and I didn't have time to put all of this data, but I just normally look just into the deaths statistics here. And you may remember the reported percentage of fully vaccinated among deaths. That's our metric which we are monitoring closely since when they started posting it in August. We looked into these numbers again this morning, and what happens is that numbers keep going up, and they actually exceeded the prediction which I have given more than a month ago. So more than a month ago, I have told you that there will be 35% of fully vaccinated in the reported fully vaccinated. Now let me see if you can see it here. Okay, so the graph is right here, and I will produce a newsletter with all stats. But essentially, if you see it, the last bar was added today, and it's 81% of fully vaccinated in the last week, right? And then okay, there's so many things here. So anyway, our predictions are just as we have predicted a month and a half ago. Now, it appeared to us that there is no point of predicting what we already know, but we will focus rather on helping other people, many people who are affected by the policies which have been in place, in particular people put on leave without pay, which apparently is actually something the government cannot do. They don't have right to do that. And especially right now, as we see, the data does not support the claims of the government. So we do have a legal responsibility to let the government know that the data now in June are very much different from the data which was used in developing the policies back in September, right? So that's why we created a page called, you would see, self-help, and in self-help you would see we would have how to file a grievance. Before that we were showing you how to report vaccine side effect. Now we have a few more pages added there. One is related to union policy grievance, so the union has issued a policy grievance, and then you can, on top of that, you can file your own grievance, and then also you can file a complaint to Canadian Human Rights Commission about the discrimination, because you are being discriminated on the basis of some medical status, and information is provided there, again, not by myself but by other individuals here. And we will use this time today just to walk you through the information which is on the portal, and then we'll have another Zoom just for people to answer your questions, perhaps on Friday, or also just contact me in person and we'll have another one in the evening if needed, right? So please go there. If you're one of those who have been affected, if you've been put on leave without pay and you're not receiving a salary or employment insurance, there are ways for you to get it back. But you need to do something. You just cannot be silent about the things which now supported by data and by legal our experts, that you do have many rights and reasons to get your salary and job back. Okay, so now let's just go back to the main portal. So this is what we are putting here, and it's a lot of fun to be building a new portal. It's a new technology developed by Google. You see sites Google, and anyone who would like to contribute anything on this portal is very welcome to contact me, and we could provide you a page where you could provide some help to other people. Again, we call it self-help. Many ways people can help each other: building websites, putting maybe removing trees, for example, or putting jobs online for people who are looking for some income in these very harsh times when they were, again, not receiving the salary for more than half a year, many of them. But the portal starts from our mission. So I will read it aloud here. Our mission here: to enable and unite Canadians by providing data evidence and data tools to help each other in the time of hardships caused by COVID-19 pandemic and associated government measures. I know that some people even don't want to call it pandemic. Some people call it plandemic because it was planned. There are many things which show that the preparations for pandemic have been happening for many years before COVID has officially been launched in 2020. Right now, how we do it, how we fulfill our mission: by analyzing the data related to three things: all deaths, all collective number of deaths which has been happening in Canada, because this is your main metric. Remember, if deaths are going up after vaccination, means vaccination probably doing more harm than good, right? Maybe. So in total, of course, we need to look into the all deaths by age, of course, very importantly, because we know that COVID affects elderly people, and young people were not dying before vaccination. Very, very few of them, less than 1%. But after vaccination has started with young population, we see more than 1% dying, or just in absolute numbers, just more. Now we're looking at the data related to vaccine efficacy and vaccine safety. Again, we emphasize that only official government sources are used, mainly from our Government of Canada official sources. and you can click here and you would see the sources right here. Hopefully now it's very convenient for anyone to use this portal. You can just click on these links yourself and just look at these numbers yourself related to efficacy, safety and total deaths. Now you remember that they do not track the numbers, they do not plot those graphs which we plot. Instead they publish PDF files or HTML files from which we would paste those numbers into our spreadsheet. So let's just go to one of those reports which has been updated this morning, remember? Okay, and it shows you up till May 22nd. That was the day for which we have predicted back in the middle of April that there will be 35% of fully vaccinated reported. Now you will go to this page here and you would see the table number 2. You can just scroll it yourself here, but the table was published here and it's right here. So we're looking at these numbers. You see 17.6 plus 18.6, oh sorry, 18.3. So that brings you to what? 35.9%. You got it, right? So we have more than what was predicted. Okay, let's go back to our portal. Now I'm very interested how to operate this. Hopefully you are enjoying the weather as I do, and we will just keep looking into the portal. What else here? So also we are saying that the reason why we're doing all this is to communicate with whom? With politicians, of course, with lawyers and general public, because now there are a number of lawyers who see the data, see the evidence, and they're helping us to put this data in action so that we could defend the truth, the evidence, the way it is officially presented here. And we publish our results and communications here. In communications you can click there and you would go into Substack newsletter. And of course we have also weekly webinars or seminars. And again, today I will not be able to talk to you in two directions. Like you could still ask questions, and please go ahead and ask questions in Zoom. I will go and look into those questions, but I will respond to them offline. Okay? And then we have key observations so far, and they are listed below. Now, these will be updated later today. We already have a number of very important observations, and probably we'll start from the most latest one, which is that Statistics Canada has deleted the data which showed extreme number of excess deaths in New Brunswick. And you remember this chart, we were showing it. I wonder if you see, it's such a beautiful portal here. I love it. So that's the page, that's the excess deaths, you remember, which was published in April, and they essentially removed it. They put NA, information not available in New Brunswick. So this will be one of our observations, and it would go right here. Observation number 1: deaths or the evidence or data has been erased, but we do have it. Observation number 2: bias was introduced, algorithmic bias was introduced in the way the percentages of fully vaccinated are reported, and we talked about that many times. Observation number 3 will be that when you recompute by week the percentage, it actually went from 9 and 10% to more than now 80%. And let me fell because I was trying to reach a pointer, and a pointer in my case is a piece of grass here. Okay, cool, right? So we used to have 9%, and now we have 81% this morning, reported for the 22nd of May. All right. So again, I hope you have a nice lunch or you have a nice break, because I'm also I can tell you more later on the activities which I'm doing now, because I do need to get some salaries for some money, or at least to help my neighbors. So I'm helping. Remember there was a huge thunderstorm and many trees were fallen, there's so many houses which were damaged and trees are still lying. So I'm helping to cut the trees here these days. But data science, of course, remains my main profession, and using the data to help Canadians to see better. Okay. And you would see that indeed all these graphs are interactive. You probably have seen many of these, but that's where we are right now. Okay, so please take time, look what is there, send me email if you have any questions related to either data or about filing a grievance. Okay, now there was a big question about this graph called odds of cases deceased. Let me just open this graph here. Okay, you probably can see me in the reflection. So okay, you see what a nice weather inside there, outside. So this graph really shows you the efficacy or the value of being vaccinated with 1 dose, 2 doses, 3 doses, and so on. So it compares the number of cases deceased in each population. And when I say by population, I mean population of people with 0 doses, population of people with 1 dose, and 3 doses. And looks like it does not rotate the screen, but this is the graph really which shows you the value of receiving a dose. And again, I have to tell you that there are many articles on the web which just criticize vaccination too much, I would put it this way, because these graphs does show that in August, September, there was 12 times more chances of dying if you were having 0 doses compared to 2 doses. A big red bar. You see? I'm trying to show it here. Yeah, okay. Right? But then you see that this red bar went really, now it's only 1.5, 1.8. So still, very importantly, we have really to be objective here. And I believe this is why data can unite to those different camps who have become so antagonistic to each other that they are not listening to each other. People who are pro-vaccine and those who are anti-vaccine. You see, vaccine was helping. It reduced the rate of deaths in the beginning, and it has done the job. It slowed down whatever it could slow down. But then in the same graph you could see that the 3rd dose, for example, is not improving. It makes it worse, according to the data which is here. So again, we do have this tool called vaccination, and it can do something, and it has done something, and we have to appreciate this fact that our professionals, our experts, medical experts recommended it, and people were taking vaccines, and we reduced the spread at that time. But then the efficacy of vaccine, as seen from this data, reduces over time, and everyone knows about this. So this is why they were saying that we should be getting boosters. But on the other hand, what you will not hear too much on the mainstream media and from our politicians, that your best booster is your natural immunity. And many people, including myself, we already had COVID, and it was easy really easier than flu which we had in the past in my family, let's say 5 years ago. So many of us already have natural immunity, and you probably know that in Sweden, in Denmark, in UK, there are no more any pandemic restrictions, because they say there is a herd immunity thanks to Omicron, thanks to natural immunity. And you, again, in Canada, do not hear this word natural immunity. Just try to say it. Just try to search in Liberal government or NDP documents, or talk to your doctors, watch CBC or CTV. Just search for natural immunity. You will not hear this word, as if it does not exist in Canada. But the words banning from travel do exist. The words freedom or fighting for freedom is one of the words which is most frequently right now used in Canada. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I will stop now my Facebook stream, and I will continue with a Zoom.